Strollers are usually a pretty big pain point for parents like us with young children, where we have to lug so many things through the airport, like luggage, car seat, and a stroller. So this is where something like a compact stroller like the GB Pocket Air comes into play. It really does make life much easier with the GB Pocket Air. So in this video, I'll tell you everything you need to know about it, and you're probably wondering, well, you're doing a stroller review. Where is it? Well, it's actually right here. I'm wearing it right now. So my family and I just got back from Seattle not too long ago, and let me tell you, this stroller really saved our lives, or made it much easier. As you know, Seattle does have a decent amount of walking compared to some other cities that you might visit where it's all driving. Enough about that. Let's just get straight to the stroller. I'll talk a little bit more about this bag in a bit. All right, so let's talk about the specs of this guy here. So this thing here can hold up to 55 pounds. So my child, or my son, he's a 6-year-old and he's not quite 55 pounds yet, but he's on a smaller side. Their website recommends about age 5, so it really depends on your child size. The weight of this is 10.1 pounds, so you be the judge of that. For me, that's not exactly the lightest, but definitely lighter than almost any other strollers out there, besides the umbrella ones, which are a little bit long and a little bit hard to carry through the airport as easily. Why is it good being compact? So what makes it so good about being compact is that, let me go and show you how it's worked. So what it has is that the turn radius is really nice. It doesn't take much to kind of turn it. This thing pretty much can spin 360 within its own little area, which is really great, meaning that you can be in a tight enclosed place and have no issues with it. Besides, for going through the airport, one important thing and reason why you might want it to be able to compact and fold back down is whenever you visit somewhere where you're limited in space, like maybe a restaurant or maybe even somewhere where you want to kind of pack it up, like we went to the Seattle Aquarium, where it's not exactly stroller friendly. Some of the areas are a little bit tight, so it's easier just to fold it back up, put it in a little backpack like this, and just carry in our backs while our kids walk around looking at the animals at the aquarium. So it's a pretty small stroller, so there's not too much space to put anything, but I still like that it does have a little area underneath where you can store things. This is where we put our children's water bottles. So far, I've only really mentioned the pros of this stroller. I haven't really mentioned too much about the cons. There are a few cons about the stroller. However, personally for me, I think that the pros outweigh the cons. One of my biggest complaints about this is that you really do require 2 hands to hold this or to maneuver this, especially if you have a child inside. Right now with no children inside, I can easily push like this, but during Seattle when I was trying to hold my chai tea along with pushing my child, it wasn't exactly easy, especially when the roads were a little bit curvy. So maybe if you have a light child, or your child's younger side, and you're also doing somewhere it's like a perfect straight line, like a mall or something, then one hand is real easy. But for the most part, I found that you do require 2 hands to push, especially if there's any kind of incline or decline. All right, so the next con is that while it does come with a canopy, which is nice, as you can see, it's very small. It doesn't really offer too much sun protection. Offers a little bit, I guess it's better than nothing, but I would have liked to see this a little bit bigger. I do know that they have other models that have a little bit of a bigger cover area, but for this particular one, the Pocket Air All-Terrain, it's not really does too much. The next thing I don't really care for much about this is the braking. So it does have a brake system, which is nice. It's just one lever you push down, but I found that it doesn't always engage. You have to really make sure you hear that click. I'm kind of used to stroller wagons where it's really easy on and off, but this one's not. Next little gripe isn't really huge. I guess it depends on how much curbs you're planning to jump with this. As you can see, it has small wheels, so you're not going to be able to go over curbs too easily. What I usually want to do is kind of prop it up, and of course when there's no child inside, I can easily prop it up like this. But when there's a child inside, I usually like using my leg to, help kind of lever it, but there's no real area to put your leg. There's a basket here, but I'm afraid I would break it if I try to use that as a lever. So you're pretty much stuck just using brute force of your hands and your arm strength pulling it up. For this next one, I don't really consider it a con. It's more of just the reality of having a smaller stroller with smaller wheels, and that's how it maneuvers. Of course, I mean, it maneuvers pretty well. I have no issues pushing it around, but it's definitely not as smooth as something like the stroller wagons that I'm personally used to pushing around when I'm here in my own town of Houston. We actually took this on a dirt trail when we were in Seattle, and it performed decently well. It wasn't exactly easiest to push, but it wasn't hard. I didn't find myself straining to push it at all. All right, now let me go and show you how you would put this thing back or fold it back together and then unfold it. It's fairly easy. I would highly suggest that you lock these in to keep the wheel in this position, because that's the way you want it when it closes. If you do it any other way, this wheel moves around and it does make closing it a lot harder. So let's go ahead and lock both wheels up. All right, now that it's locked, you fold this out the way, and then you push these two buttons here, and there's two levels. One level here, it locks in place and it's still movable, but you want to hold it down and push it down a little bit more. And once it gets down a little bit more, the two joints here can be folded in. So you want to make sure it's pushed in, and then you fold the joints in, and you just pull it up, and it's closed. And all you do is kind of push together, and there is a little clip here that clips everything up, and it's nice and stored. So this is the way I usually carried it. This just fits into the backpack that we bought, and it was much easier than folding these two wheels up. So that's how it was. But let me go ahead and show you how it would be if I wanted to fold those wheels up to make it even more compact. Okay. And this took a little bit of practice, but I figured that I can actually, if I hold the buttons and I just kind of swing it down and hear a lock button, it just unfolds pretty easily. But you do want to make sure you hear that click. You also probably want to check to make sure this area clicks into place so that your child doesn't sit in it and just collapse. Okay, let's go ahead and show you the other configuration, or how small it can get. Okay, so when you're folding here, you're going to notice that you can fold these wheels up. There's a little lever right here. You would pull it, fold it in, and same thing for the other side. Fold it in, and then close it like you did earlier. So as you can see, it gets even smaller. Look how small this is. Look, this is like, look at this. That's my leg. It's exceptionally small. So this is only, I guess, helpful if you want to put it into, let's say, above the bin of the plane. We found it easier just to gate check. So we didn't really have this configuration too much. We like it the other way better because it even fits very easily. Let me grab the bag into this little backpack, this third-party backpack we bought, and this made it so much easier to just carry around. We would carry the backpack and this, and explore the city. All right, so I'm gonna wrap it up because it's getting really hot out here and it's Texas weather in the summer. But yeah, if you have any questions about this GB Pocket Air, let me know down below in the comment sections and I'll try my best to answer it. But what about you? Let me know down below in the comment also what you think about this stroller. Is this something that you probably want to send or get for your next vacation or next travel? This is something we're definitely looking forward to using next time we travel as well. So I'll see you in the next one.